Welcome, Karen. It's great catching up after how many years now has it been since we last
Four-ish,
spoke?
maybe?
4 years. That's a eternity in startup world.
Yeah.
And the last time we spoke, you were launching and looking at raising funding, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me more about the company. Tell everyone more about the company, what you started out and what you intended to do, and where you are today.
Wow, that's a lot. So Makeena connects better for you brands with consumers, no matter where they shop, online or at a store. And we create velocity for those brands' products off the shelf and provide them with all the data that makes a difference is probably the best way to say it. So we know who the shopper is, where they're shopping, what's in their basket. We have other engagements as well. The shoppers can go in the store and take photos of the products on the shelf. They can answer surveys and polls and share with their friends. So we're a B2B SaaS company that really is a data company. It's collected over 500 million plus pieces of zero and first party consumer data. Lots of stuff.
That's a handful
It is.
and a mouthful.
Yes.
So essentially, you work with brands, consumer packaged goods brands, to
Yes.
drive traffic to stores, to turn over product, and to get their product in the faces of more potential consumers with those people sharing those products. How do you do that? How does McKenna actually do that?
So Makeena has an app that is free to the consumer where they can discover, find, and earn cash and rewards on better products. Again, no matter where they shop, it could be Thrive Market or Amazon or Walmart or Target. It could be a drugstore. It could be a farmer's market, or it could be a Whole Food store. So we don't care. So the consumer just puts those products in their bag on the platform, on the mobile app, and then they go shopping and they scan the barcode, submit the receipt through the app. We collect all of that data from store to store to store. We create loyal consumers on top of it because they get cash, but they also get rewards. And those rewards can be converted to cash and free product and swag and really, honestly, whatever the brands want.
And where are you in your scale and your growth? What's happened since we first met when you were launching?
Well, we've had a couple of very big partnerships. So the great thing is we signed a partnership with Spins, which is the largest data aggregator in the natural products industry, and started off great, had a lot of really incredible inside champions. They did product and technical due diligence on Makeena, realized that they don't collect this kind of zero and first party consumer data, and then they got acquired. And so we don't really have a partnership with them right now. So it was a great start. And then it kind of fizzled because the new people came in and all of the existing people left. And so we're kind of starting over with them, if that makes sense. The other really cool thing that happened is we signed a partnership with the largest natural products brokerage in the US by the name of Presence Marketing, and they've started to refer to us a bunch of brands. So really great brands, Capellas and Simply Gum, and I mean, you kind of name it.
So these brands are coming in, and what are they looking to achieve? So is it true you have 1 million users, active users on the platform today?
We have well more than, I think we have like 1.5 million downloads of the app, something like that. And we haven't raised that much money. We've raised about 700,000 of outside money. Yeah. And so we do have a commit for a seed round with a VC, but it hasn't closed. But so all of this has been very scrappy and very gritty. And I would say the good thing is that they have, Makeena has a founder, me, that's super passionate about helping people lead healthier lives on a cleaner planet. Right.
Right. And the brands you're talking to, what are they leaning into when they look at you as a solution? What are they trying to solve?
Discovery. And then also collecting that data for a lot less money than what they spend on data.
And what's your best story? What's your best customer story? The one that's with you that can live without you and have been your strongest advocate.
Yeah, so we have a couple case studies where we've really been able to turn product very quickly for a brand. One of them was on Amazon. So they saved a ton of money. They did have a buy one, get 50% off the second one. So there was a lot of incentive for the consumer to engage and purchase the products. But then they could take those consumers that bought the products and I hate to say target, but target and retarget them, right? Really create a
Mm,
relationship with those consumers. So that's a differentiator for Makeena. One, the back end of our platform is real time, 24/7, provides a lot of really granular shopper marketing data. But the other thing is that the brand really gets to understand that consumer and create a relationship with the consumer on a one-to-one or one-to-many basis.
are you open to telling that brand story in that case study?
Not for any of the particular brands. They're all
Okay.
anonymized at this point. Yeah,
Right, right, right.
yeah.
Well, what is your biggest challenge now? And what have you scaled to if you're open to sharing that story? And what do you see as your next biggest challenge or your current challenge that you're trying to overcome?
Well, being a founder is always a lot of work, right? And building the right team is always a lot of work. I've had some starts and stops with people that were going to help me with sales. And I'm very excited about somebody that's coming on board on the 20th. We're just finalizing his contract right now, but he comes from this space. And so I think he's going to be able to close on a bunch of brands very quickly for us. I think the other thing is really we just need more capital. We're very capital
Hmm.
efficient. And we plan on rebuilding Makina um in AI first. So we already have all of the wheels in motion for that, but not 100% the financing. So
Hmm.
I'm very excited about that though. Better, faster, parse, parsed matching, predictive analytics, real time, anytime, ahead of time for all these brands. Also starting to work with retailers and getting those retailers to really understand what's happening down the street for them. So if you are a natural grocers and you want to find out what's happening at Sprouts or at Walmart or at Kroger, we have all that information.
Now, for aspiring founders who may be a couple of years behind you in their journey, what would be your advice? And maybe give a little bit of background in how you got to become a founder, because you used to be a lawyer, and you've had a storied career already before becoming a founder later in your career. What can you share for other founders considering the leap, either on the journey or embarking on the journey?
So this is my third time being a founder. In the second time in the natural product space, I think you need to find something that you're super passionate about and specifically solving. Don't solve something that's not a problem. That's another issue, right? I think a lot of founders think, oh, this is really cool. And they're not really solving a problem. When you're solving a problem, then you have really solved that product market fit. And also, I think the other thing is just resilience, resilience, grit, solving problems for your company, not giving up when things get tough, being enthusiastic, being a great leader, in the sense of, leader of your team, but also leader to your consumers and I mean, whenever they are, right? Consumers, customers, partners, making sure that you're trying to do the right thing when you're faced with a bunch of facts, some good, some bad. And again, just trying to do the right thing with a smile. How's that? Yeah.
Yes. Well, having been the founder and also an executive and gone through those journeys, I always find it interesting to ask other founders, how many hours do you work a week?
A
How do you
lot.
spend your time? And then also, what's your biggest anxiety? So let's start with, how many hours do you work a week?
Probably, I don't know, 80?
80 hours.
A lot. I mean, we all have things that we have families, some of us have aging parents, some of us have kids that have
Hmm.
challenges. You have spouses or partners, you have things that you just have to take care of. in the household. But yeah, I'm always thinking about how am I going to do this? How I'm going to do that? How I'm going to make things better? How's it going to work better? I think you also asked me that I didn't answer, you know, why the transition? I'm still a lawyer, by the way, and a former CPA, and I've loved being a lawyer. I love helping my clients grow, but I'm not an outside counsel kind of person. I'm an internal lawyer, like a former general counsel. So I've always been very ingrained in the products or services that we take to market. So, kind of the same thing, right? Like, you got to be passionate about what you're building, what you're doing
You got to wake up and do it 80 hours a week.
every
If you
day.
don't love it,
Yeah.
you can't be passionate about solving the problems that you have to solve.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very fortunate because I love what I'm doing.
So, what's your biggest anxiety then?
Not having all the resources or growing quick enough because I don't have those resources. I have a skinny team. I've been very capital efficient. I have a product that brands love. I have a product that needs to be fixed, quote unquote, because I have consumers that sometimes get frustrated. I mean, we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of consumers, making sure that everybody gets heard, that we are responsive. That is really hard when you have a very skeleton team.
Well, so one of the things I do, and actually there's a session later today called a GTM pod that I'm doing. It's free. Any founder can come. And it's really about solving those anxieties. I've done this so long for so many times that I know exactly what to do in a lot of these cases. What are you doing to solve that resource problem? And where are you stuck?
Sometimes I go to interns at the university. I'm lucky I live in a university town. I'm super fortunate that I used to have resources, lawyer, right? Could side hustle a little bit to like bridge the gap. I'm doing a Kiva fundraise right now, Kiva loan for some of it. I'm looking at different options and talking with angel investors.
I think as a whole, we have the group session. It's open to founders. I do a lot of diagnosis and solutioning. Fundraising is a fundamental problem for most founders. The biggest gap is understanding what the investor wants and how to get them to be compelled.
Yeah.
The product in that case is your company, and the net return. The fit is the investor who likes the return and the project. So there's a way to engineer that. And there's a methodology to that. If you've been in the professional world, any kind of methodology with repeatability and extensibility that works, you would definitely use it. And in this case, I know this works. The cool thing is you can copy the whole article, throw it into an LLM, and say, how do I use this to fundraise for my company?
Very interesting. There have been a lot of people that have resonated with what we're building and what we've built. It's somewhat niche still to some folks that don't realize that the opportunity is quite huge.
Hmm.
But recently, we've had about 8 companies interested in buying us already.
That's excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
I hope the best for you, especially in getting those resources in the race.
Thank you. Thank you, Darash. Yeah, I think we should have definitely a follow up conversation for sure.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.